Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and today we're going to continue Kaymon, the Gorgon Hound. How you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. Chapter 1, Deadly Flowers. Tom and Elena stood in the prow of their boat as they returned to the shore of the Black Ocean. I can't speak today. With the defeat of Narga, the sea monster, another good beast of Ventia had been freed. Sepron, the sea serpent. The two friends leaped down onto the shingle, eager to be reunited with their animal companions. Silver the wolf let out a howl of delight, and Storm, Tom's black stallion, reared up, neighing triumphantly. Tom and Elena already knew that another beast lay ahead. Wizard Elderu, their friend and mentor, had briefly appeared on the ocean waves, warning them that they would soon face another evil beast, Kaymon. But they hadn't given them any more detail. Tom touched a yellow jewel from Narga's tooth, which he had won in his last fight against the sea monster. He had placed it in his magic belt next to the red jewel, which gave him the ability to understand beasts, and the green jewel with its power to heal broken bones. This new jewel gave him a knife-sharp memory. When he touched it, he remembered all the battles he had won in his beast quest to rid Aventia of the dark wizard Malvel. Yeah, Malvel. Tom, look, said Elena. Tom turned and saw that his companion was studying the greasy, foul-smelling map of Gorgonia that Malvel had given them. She was pointing to a tiny picture of NANOOK, the snow monster, that had appeared on the map. Tom felt a sharp vibration from his shield. The bell of the snow monster, embedded there with the tokens of the other 5 good beasts, was quivering. Tom looked back at the map and the little image of NANOOK. Don't worry, my friend, he said. We'll save you soon. Ads. We'll save you soon. It looks as though she's being held captive somewhere in the south of Gorgonia, Helena said. But what kind of beast could take her prisoner? She's one of the strongest beasts of Aventia. Elderu said Kaymon was more evil than we could possibly imagine, Tom reminded her. But what can that mean? Elena wondered aloud. I think it's time we found out, Tom replied. The thought of NANOOK being held prisoner burned his heart. Come on, Storm. We have work to do. He leaped on into the saddle and extended an arm to help Elena up behind him. To the south, Tom cried. Let's rescue NANOOK. The noble stallion galloped beneath the seething red Gorgonian skies. Silver at his side, Tom shivered. Looking up at the red clouds that rolled and swirled above their heads. He would never get used to this terrifying land. Don't forget to avoid the quicksand we wandered into before, Elena said. Tom nodded. I remember it perfectly, he told her. In fact, I can remember every hill and valley of this part of Gorgonia, thanks to Narga's jewel. That's great, Helena said, especially as we can't completely trust Melville's map. Melville's map. Remember the trouble it got us into last time? Soon the Black Ocean was far behind them, and the sun was low on the horizon. They entered a grim landscape of broken hills. Have you noticed that it's getting much hotter? Tom said, wiping sweat from his forehead. It must be terrible for NANOOK to be imprisoned here. The snow monster was used to Aventia's northern ice fields. Her thick white fur protecting her from bitter winter winds. As they reached the top of the first hill, they found themselves staring into a wide valley filled with gigantic bluebells. Oh, how beautiful, Elena said. I would never have expected to find such lovely flowers in a place like this. She frowned. But what's that shape in the middle? I can't make it out. Tom peered across the valley. Although the precious suit of golden armor had been returned to Aventia, he still possessed its magical powers, and the armor's helmet allowed him to see far into the distance. It's NANOOK, he said. The poor beast is chained to a rock. Although shackled to a huge lump of amber, NANOOK still looked majestic, her thick white fur glowing under the red clouds. But she was wrenching and tearing at the chain, clearly in great distress. That's so cruel, cried Elena. How could anyone cause her so much pain? She leaped from the saddle and began to run down the hillside. Silver bounded beside her as she headed towards the blue sea of flowers. Be careful, Tom called, urging Storm down the slope after them. He wasn't at all sure about the huge flowers, which had turned towards Elena, almost as if they knew she was approaching. Wait! Tom shouted, as Elena and Silver waded into the waist-high stems. A moment later, Elena stopped and began beating at the flowers with her hands. Tom, help! She shouted. At her side, Silver was leaping back and forth, howling and snarling as though he was being attacked by an invisible enemy. Tom could see what was happening. The dark red stamens of the flowers were stabbing like daggers. hemming Elena and Silver in with their needle-sharp blades. Silver was yelping in pain. "Ouch!" Elena cried. "Tom, it really hurts." Tom pulled on the reins and brought Storm to a halt. He swung down from the saddle. There was only one thing he could do. Gripping his shield, Tom drew his sword and swung his blade through the vicious flowers, cutting a path towards his friends. The flowers stabbed at him as he hacked through. He felt pain as sharp as wasp stings as he sliced into the stems. Using the speed given to him by the golden leg armor, he quickly reached Elena and Silver. "Come on," Tom called, alarmed to see that the bluebells were swarming behind him, lunging forwards to fill the gap that he had made. Elena and Silver raced along with Tom close behind. The bluebells writhed all around, striking at them like snakes. At last they came diving out of the flowers, skidding in the dust as they reached safety. Tom stared out over the bluebells. NANOOK was still in the center of the flowers, looking towards him in desperation. She lifted her arms and rattled her chain in anguish. "The evil flowers are all around her," Tom said. "How will we ever be able to reach her?" Then a low, mournful howl came echoing across the valley. Tom and Elena looked at one another. "What was that?" Elena asked. Tom gripped his sword firmly. "Kaymon," he said. Chapter 2, Kaymon's Power. Stay away from flowers. Stay away from weird, pretty flowers in Gorgonia. Poor NANOOK. I imagine that the beasts have been in pain ever until they were rescued by Tom, so poor NANOOK for going through that pain all this time. Yeah, that sucked. That sucks. At least the last three beasts had a break every time at least the good beasts had a break every time the bad beasts were hunting or whatever. NANOOK has the flowers on her like every second, so that's not good. That ain't good. Living flowers. Not good. Well, I hope you like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you guys are interested in how they're gonna save NANOOK from Kaymon. And the flowers that bite as hard as a bee sting. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Hope you guys join me in chapter 2. Wait, chapter 2? Right? Yeah, chapter 2. Kaymon's power. This beast came in like the second chapter. While Narga came in like the fourth to last chapter. I don't know why. Sure, we get introduced in the prologue to the beasts, but yeah, I don't know. I guess Kaymon is different. But yeah, I hope you guys like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest. And I hope I said Melville? Melville, right? I think that's how you pronounce it. Melville? Marvel? I think it's Marvel. But I'm not sure. Someone in the comments told me how you pronounce it, but hope I remember to pronounce this correctly in like the next chapters. But yeah. Bye bye.